Welcome back to Double Down University. I'm back at you guys with a college basketball video for January the 4th. I just have 3 picks today. I'm not going to pick too many players. Just the 3 that I have is Hodge over 26.5 fantasy score, Mike Miles over 21.5 PRA, and Bynum over 3.5 assists. So let's get into it. So Hodge, with him, I really like this spot for him because he has went over this line in every game but 3 games this year. And this game where he's at 26.4, where he barely made it. If you watch the previous videos that I've made on college basketball, I basically told you guys that it's a discrepancy between FanDuel scoring system and PrizePicks scoring system. So for PrizePicks, they give out 3 points for a block or steal, as opposed to FanDuel, they give out 2. So a lot of these fantasy scores are kind of lower than what it would be on PrizePicks, so they kind of give you an advantage that way. So this 26.4 would be closer to 27 than 26.4. So in those 3 games that he's barely missed, he's missed with 12, 18, 19, but you could pretty much bump these up to 13, 19, and then 20. So he was close on those 3. But the reason why I like him too in this matchup is because Missouri is number 1 in potential points off of steals or off of potential turnovers. So he doesn't turn the ball over much. He only turned the ball over once this year, which is a really, really good sign. And he showed tremendous improvement so far in his career. Like in 2020, he played at Cleveland State his first 2 years. He's had a turnover rate of 1.5, 1.4, and then this year he's only turning it off over 0.5, which is great for fantasy because each turnover is minus a point on the fantasy score, and each block and steal is +3. So he has averaged a steal in every game but 2 games this year. The only game he didn't go over on a steal or block is against Linden and Southeastern Missouri. So I like his steal potential, and he also has block potential as well, as he's gotten a block in 5 games this year. His points potential is there, 15 to he goes to 30. One game he had 30, so he's pretty much in line, and then he doesn't get in a lot of foul trouble. That's a big thing too to look for. He only averages close to 3 fouls, is the most he's ever fouled in a game, which he's done it multiple times, but the foul limit in college is 5, so that's some leeway for him to be able to stay out on the court. His minutes is pretty consistent. He does have, early on in the year, he had a lot of 20, 25, and below minutes, but that's kind of just a warm-up just to kind of get his conditioning under control to be able to be out there and, for later on in the season, because as you see later on in the season, like December the 22nd, he played 30 minutes. The 28th, he played 31 minutes. The 29th of November, he played 37 minutes. So he's getting consistently around 30 minutes. And as you can see on the season, he averages about 27.5 minutes. But then also taking account the lower minutes total for the earlier on in the season is kind of thrown in there to kind of throw off that number a little bit. So, and then he averages 16.5 points per game, 3 rebounds, 2 assists. So he fills up the stat column, averages 2 steals and 0.5 blocks. He averages 3.2 made 3-pointers per game. He's shooting 66% from the free throw line. That's a bit of a concern, but if he's making his 3-pointers, then and he's shooting 41% from the 3-point line. So I really like this pick. This is one of my favorite picks. I think he goes for at least 30+ fantasy score tonight. Moving on to the next one is Mike Miles. So Mike Miles, he has soared over this line in every game except for 2 games this year, and he's even covered in 1 game that he didn't start. So out of the 9 games that he started this year, he's went over this number of 21.5 PRA in 8 of those matches. So that's a really, really good percentage. He doesn't get in a lot of foul trouble. He's only had 4 fouls once. He's had 3 fouls 3 times. So I really like his potential today against a Baylor team. And one thing about TCU is they don't take a lot of bad shots. They don't get forced into early 3-point shots early in the shot clock. Around 52% of their shots is basically 2-point shots and anywhere mid-range to near proximity shots. And if we look into his matchup right here with Baylor, so Baylor, they are one of the worst teams at near proximity shots. Like, they allow 68% from near proximity, and then as well as 3-point, they don't guard the 3-point line as well as 33%. So I think that's an advantage there. And of course, you know, TCU, they shoot 31% from 3, but that's just the team as a whole and not accounting for just Miles. So Miles, he shoots this year, he has shot 30% from 3, which is okay, but I think he has the potential, especially going up against a team that gives up, you know, they're 200th in the country and giving up 3-pointers. Let's see it, go back. Here it is. So they're around 200th or 184 and giving up 3-pointers as well as near proximity. So he could take a lot of his shots closer to the rim. Now they will have the advantage, Baylor, in mid-range shots. So they would be able to contest them mid-range wise, but I think 3-point and near proximity, that's where he kind of excels. And then he also is a good passer. So if we look at his assists, he's getting nearly an assist per game, or at least 2. He's only had 1 assist 1 time. So we're getting the assist potential. Rebounds is kind of spotty. You know, he has 2, 3, and then 4 through 6. Doesn't get in a lot of foul trouble, like as I mentioned earlier. So I really like this matchup for him. He has made at least 1 3-pointer in every game except for 3 games this year. But as you can see, the attempts is there. That's what I like. I like volume, giving you more opportunity to be able to hit this over. So yeah, so Mike Miles, I really like his over 21.5 PRA. And then moving on to Jared Bynum. So before I recorded this, Jared Bynum, his points was at 7.5. So it just recently, just before I hit the record button, they moved his points up to 9.5. So I kind of want to go to his assists because his assist was untouched. His PRA too got bumped up by 2 because it was at 14.5. Now it's at 13.5. My bad. So it was at 13.5 before I recorded, and then they just bumped it up to 15.5. I still think he covers both. I think he gets 18 PRA, and I think he gets around 11 points. But we're going to kind of avoid bumps and kind of just go with his assists tonight. But you could hedge and have his points or his PRA. PRA is a little bit safer. It has everything. You know, you have a safety blanket. You have everything in one. You have his points, rebounds, and assists in there. So I really, if anything, I would go his PRA over his points. So yeah, so those are my 3 for today. So I go through them again. So I have Hodge over 26.5 fantasy score, Mike Miles over 21.5 PRA, and Jared Bynum over 3.5 assists. So I appreciate you guys. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and then put in the comments what you guys are going with tonight, whether it's NBA, college basketball. I know we have some NHL on the board as well. So yeah, so I'll see you guys next time. I appreciate you guys.